for tuning in, checking out the day's news, the goings on, the antics of the left, as we always do, and they're up to it again, up to it, up to their waiters. Good times. So let's dive right into it. Thank you for tuning in again today. I'm here every day, not every day, every weekday, 9 a.m. That's the plan, Pacific time. Jeff Ahern show. Good to see you. Democrats prep backup plan as a Senate border deal goes down in flames. This is from Fox News, as it should. I mean, if you've heard any bit of it, it's basically Biden's terrible border policy put into law. It's like the worst. Like, hey, everything that really sucked, all these terrible things that we were doing, let's codify them and make them a law. Yeah. Let's give ourselves more power to stand down the border guard and just give Biden more control over doing nothing. And then just add, well, this part's good. The border plan got scuttled, if you will, if you want to call it the border plan, whatever the hell you want to call it, the lack of border plan, the no border plan got scuttled. And also, of course, they tied it into Ukraine funding because that's what politicians do. You can't just have one bill that you could vote on based on the merits of that bill. You have to blackmail. You have to crowbar. You have to, hey, if you want this to go through, well, you better vote for this. Awkward sign on. Yes, I switched. The Rumble software, Hot Pots, affords me the awkward sign on. So I don't know. Hey, K-Mac, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So I used to do the awkward sign off. Now I do the awkward sign on. So as long as it can be awkward somewhere, I'm happy. I like a little awkwardness in my presentation. The Democrat border plan is up in smoke, as it should be. It was a disaster. But yeah, getting back to Mayorkas, Chrome Dome Mayorkas. I shouldn't make fun of what do you call them? The hair those without hair. I'm gonna be there soon too. But yeah, on a side note, besides that, it's just something I don't know. I don't like the guy. I don't think most people do, and yet somehow he survives the impeachment vote. Thanks to Republicans. Thanks, Republic. Way to go. What did they promise you? What did they? That the guy is so incompetent at his job, purposefully so. He is actually. I take it back. He's incredibly competent at his job because his job was to create a wide open border, and he succeeded beyond his and his overlords' wildest dreams. So he's actually incredibly competent. It's just he's doing the opposite of the stated goal of his position. But he was put there for a reason, and he accomplished that, and he should have been impeached for it because he essentially facilitated the opening and basically the standing down of our border entirely. He was the point man on it, if you will, and even along with border czar Kamala Harris. And yet we have this chance to get rid of him, and then the Republicans won't do it. Most of them did, but a few of them didn't. So what did they promise you? What did you get in return for your vote against impeaching Mayorkas? That's what I want to know. You're scumbags. You need to be out next election cycle. Absolutely, 100%. How about 110%? That's not even real. That's 110%. It's not real. Heidi, good to see you. Jeannie, good to see you. Heidi says it was a border plan. Just happened to figure it out and protested our reps to defeat it. Yes, exactly. Thank you. That was what I was looking for, Mike. Thank you. A hair follicle. You're smarter than I am. I was like, hey, one of them hair strands, one of them hair thingy, one of them hair follicle. Thank you. Mike's a scientist, by the way. Now this is the thing, Mike. Now it's all Trump's fault, right? So this is the insanity of the left. They go on a daily diatribe saying, first of all, that there's no border crisis, that there's no border issues, that there's nothing wrong with the border, that no one's coming in. The cameras show you the opposite. Now it's been proven. It was always beyond a reasonable doubt. Liberals just keep the blinders on and pretend everything's fine. It's not. And he just kept letting people in and letting people in and letting people in. And now they're like, okay, there's a problem of brewing. Our cities are overrun, Democrat ones and Republicans at this point. Our cities are overrun. It's crazy. It's them Republicans. Look, they won't even vote for our absurd border bill that basically codifies into law the whole problem in the first place, the reason everybody came in. And they're trying to get rid of Mayorkas. He's doing such a great job. Hey, how's Kamala Harris doing? How's our border czar doing these days? I haven't heard much from her. They kind of just took her off. They're like, hey, Kamala, just keep a really low profile. If you think you're keeping a low profile now, just go even lower. Like we want a subterranean profile on you, Kamala, and your approval ratings will still be somehow lower than Joe Biden's. I don't understand it. Good times. All right, Bob. Good to see you. Good to see you, buddy. Glad that you made it. Yeah. So it's a joke. It's a comical joke on us. But seriously, how do we not get I feel like I did when. Well, I feel worse about Mayorkas than I do Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom, I live in California. I want to get out. I'm trying. But, we had a chance. We had a shot. He was up for impeachment. He could have been impeached, and he wasn't. And now he's just, the debt here is astronomical. It's like there's no way. We should be a junk bond status. We should absolutely be a junk bond status. I don't know. We should be lower almost than Chicago at this point. That's how bad things are here in Los Angeles. We're printing money. We have no way to fund it. We're billions of dollars in debt. We got boondoggle after boondoggle after boondoggle of public works projects. They can't build a toilet for under $1.7 million in San Francisco, even a free one. I did a story on that. $1.7 million for a single toilet. They got a little rinky-dink toilet that people are just going to shoot up in anyway. And they're like, hey, wait a minute. Taxpayers like, what are you guys doing? They're going to have a party, of course, taxpayer funded as well, to celebrate the $1.7 million toilet. And then they're like, hey, wait a minute. You're spending how much on a toilet? And even San Franciscans are like, yeah, that seems a little excessive. And so Gavin Newsom's like, okay, listen, I'm going to come in. We're not going to spend $1.7 million on a toilet. That's absurd. So he comes in and he puts the kibosh on it. So then they now get these people coming in and they're like, hey, we'll build it for free. Well, they want the good PR, the toilet companies. I don't know. The toilet company's like, hey, we'll build you the toilet for free. So you can go to Home Depot and get one. It's not that expensive. Hey, here's your free toilet. And we'll install it for free. So, okay, that sounds good, right? It's still, here we are. I did a story, so you can check it out in the, I don't know, somewhere on my page. And so here we are, 15 months later, still no toilet, just mulch, which I assume is probably, $7,000 a square foot. I don't know. That seems light for a government mulch. There's probably also a mulch committee that it has to go through. But what I'm trying to make here is that even with this free toilet, with all the committees and man hours and this committee saying this and this and a DEI committee to make sure the toilet paper is, I don't know, ethnically appropriate. I don't know anymore. All that is still costing hundreds of thousands of dollars for a free toilet. So now Newsom's like, hey, this is great. Look, we cut the price of that free toilet down to a few $100,000. So I'm going to give you the 1.7 million back so you can, waste that, which they promptly did. They said, this $1.7 million, and this is an act. I'm not making this up. They said, we're going to put in 2 or 3 new toilets. So they won't even guarantee 3 toilets, and 3 toilets would be over $500,000 a toilet. This is the government. This is our tax dollars. It woke. Oh my God. Yeah. So, but anyway, he didn't get impeached. Bob says I could build them a toilet pretty easy and could pocket 1.6. Yeah. Well, it's the pocketing. That's what the toilet is. It's all about the pocketing. The toilet is what the toilet is. It doesn't cost that much money. The rest is the built-in pocketing, either to the unions, either to the union reps, either to the people on the committee getting paid to be in the committee and hear about the toilet and and design the toilet. It's all a big money grab, and it's not like San Franciscans have money to go around. The city's in shambles. It's an absolute shambles. The only reason, Oakland, I guess, is worse, but everyone just forgot about Oakland. They're like, it was a dump to begin with. Oakland must have been nice at some point, like maybe in the 30s. I don't know my history that well. Wasn't there a time where Oakland was like, hey, this is great? Maybe not. Oh, and I've been to Oakland, a bunch of times for work. And I haven't been in forever, and I'm glad, because it's just a nightmare now. It was never great even then. But I remember there was a Jack London Square. So I assume the writer Jack London must have grown up or somehow had some connection to Oakland. And Jack London, when was he around? In the early 1900s? I don't know. Maybe that's when Oakland was good. 5K skill saw. Yeah, everything's just jacked up. It's staplers, you name it, because we're paying for it. So that's why you need the private sector to step in. And then, so what do they do with the private sector? They gum them up. And then the way they gum them up now is with environmentalism. And so the private sector, there's a new thing Biden's doing where he's trying to now particulate this, particulate that. You release too much particulate, so slap. They are now coming down on these particulate releasers. And I'm for a nice environment. Who wants to breathe particulate? Sounds terrible, but that's what you get your masks for. So they're basically putting the industries that release this stuff on a standstill. That they're not going to be able to do anymore, and they will be actively looking for other places to go, because we will have I think the strictest allowable or smallest amount allowed, which sounds great if you're agreeing, like, yeah, this is great. But if you work for one of these companies, or if you are maybe a lunch truck, or maybe you're a small local business that need, these people spend their money at, well, good luck with that. That's all gone now. They're going to move out. They're going to go someplace else, and this is what they do. They do it to the oil industry, the gas industry, the particulate industry. I don't know. But they crush businesses. They crush businesses underfoot. And yet the businesses are who they tax for all the dopey social justice, social blah, blah, blah programs. And so where does that money come from now? Well, we'll just print more of it. There goes inflation. They have no common sense. They have no wherewithal to understand basic economics, or they do understand worse economics, and they simply ignore the basic tenets of it. Things like supply and demand. Things like this is why we're being forced to buy electric cars. This is why your fuel prices are constantly going up, because they know that the mandates will not work by themselves. They have to put pain in it, and they have to make that pain. Oh, okay, an electric car is going to save me money. It's not. It's not. If you're buying an electric car to save money, you're a fool. You're a fool. An average electric vehicle is $62K. Average gas is like probably 32. Do the math. You're going to make up that money somewhere? No, of course not. Yeah, you lease it. Same thing. It's built into the lease. Big deal. And don't think electric prices aren't going to surge more than gas. As more and more people get electric cars, and the grids really don't change, because to improve them would be a public sector job, not a private one. So that'll take forever. That's another boondoggle right there. Newsom, with the low amount of EV vehicles we have here currently, can barely keep them running in the summer, because in the summer he's coming out, hey, don't charge your cars between 4 and 9 today. During rush hour, et cetera, because the grid can't handle it. All right. Oh, by the way, 2034, everyone's going to need an electric car. Okay, I'll catch you later. It's such a jackass. Are you? Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Yeah, it's exactly hot pots. White supremacy ruined Oakland 100%. We ruin everything. We're dirty, horrible colonialists, and we're monsters. Everything's our fault. If you haven't, that's why there's I tell you, the DEI, the greatest job you'll ever get. You got to be African American, ideally, or minority to get it. I don't think they have a lot of white people in those positions. But yeah, all you have to do is say, hey, white people's fault. And Bob, yes, you are a particulate releaser, especially after a night of drinking beer. Yeah, which means Biden's coming for you. He's going to make you wear special underpants that, I don't know, dole it out in smaller doses, like Dutch oven action in those underpants. Yeah. Mike says Joe is wanting an industry that he's shutting down to invest in their demise. Yeah, essentially that's exactly it. He's like, listen, I want you to build all this crap to put on. And again, clean environment's a great thing, but at the same time, if we don't have any money, if we don't have any jobs, if we don't have any financial security whatsoever, we don't have any money for taxes, for services, for police, fire, all that stuff, all that important stuff, the actual important stuff. Well, then what good's? Oh, the air's so clean. I have no money. I'm living outside now, and I'm surrounded by basically flames and ruins because the Democrats destroyed our society for the environment. You know what? I'll cough a little and live in a house. I'll cough a little and have a place to go to work. It's your choices, people. The environmentalists don't go. They don't care now because most of them, don't have jobs, or they have whack job environmentalist jobs. But guess what? When society is in ruins, which appears to be the end game for the Democrat Party and the leftists in general, you don't have a job either. You're out on the street with the rest of us, looking around, going, "What the hell happened?" Oh yeah, we voted for the Democrats consistently, not like one time, but like throughout our lifetime. Jackasses. Goodness. Mike, thank God you live in Ohio. Yeah, Ohio's nice. I like Ohio. Your damn internet's screwing up. Well, I'm glad it's your internet and not me. Mike White, and I drive a Cadillac. Mike, I drive a Cadillac. Yes, Cadillac owners unite. I live in California where like, Kevin, like, you got to get a electric vehicle. All right, it's a mandated environment. So I said, no, thank you. I want gas. So when all you yutzes and the power grid's down and you don't have AC because the power grid's down, I can go out my gas car, V8, turn it on and just be like, AC. And I can drive around out of this godforsaken state. But yeah, the fuel economy is brutal. It's brutal because the cost of gas is brutal. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for a while. And if I get an EV, if I ever get an EV, and again, it's a choice. You should be able to do what you want. Well, at one time it was a country of free choice, and not so much anymore. But you should be able to do what you want. So at some point, if I get an EV, and I may at some point, when I decide I want it, I will always have a gas car. I will always have a gas car or a motorcycle or both, ideally, because when the grid goes down, and it's going to go down when the electric prices skyrocket, and they already are, you're going to have a situation where you're going to need an escape pod. Mine just happens to have, a sound system. It's not a great one. I think it might be. Actually, Cadillac's got a decent sound system. Is it? And it's got a CD player. It's not so old. It's got a cassette player, but it's got a CD player. Got a DTS. I love that car. My vehicle, electric has a USB plug. Oh, there you go. Doxy, good to see you. Everyone who has an electric car should buy a gas generator to charge your car. Well, that's the comedy of electric vehicles, or some at least. I remember when I used to do work in the automotive industry, a lot of these vehicles, and this is actually a smart idea. It's a good idea. But since it's a good idea, the Dems hate it, the leftists hate it, the environmentalists hate it. But they had an electric motor. I'm thinking of the BMW one in particular, had an electric motor and then a gas generator. So they literally kind of thought it through, which makes sense. It's like, okay, hey, it's an EV, but there's not a lot of charging stations around when you get out of the metro area. And things happen. So here's your safety. Here's your parachute. We got a gas engine in here. Now the gas engine technically does not charge the motor, but creates or generates electricity for the battery to run it on EV. So it's kind of like a little, we're snaking around it. But it's smart. If I had to get an EV vehicle, that is the kind of EV vehicle I would get. I mean, it's more parts. I guess, you got more maintenance. I'm not getting an EV for a while, but yeah. So, but at least I would want that. Give me sense. Actually, with my other gas vehicle, I don't need it. You know what? Just give me the EV, and then I got my V8. Bob in Alaska says you drive a V8 diesel. Good for you. Oh, diesel too. Nice. You're really spitting out that particulate. You weren't kidding. Your particulate's coming out of every orifice. It gets a whopping 15 miles per gallon. There you go. Where I live, I'm all for global warming. Yeah, my car, it's not even diesel. I only get 19. 19.2. I'm very soft on the gas because the gas is going up again. I was like, oh, shocked. It was the gas prices were actually coming down here for a bit, which I'm like, what's going on? Newsom, what happened? It's not even near election time. Usually it goes up, because they're trying to force you through mandates and not allowing drilling or for buying oil from our enemies in order to facilitate the green shift. Meanwhile, sending money to our enemies may result in us dying. Again, we're all expendable in the leftist world, in the leftist utopia. We're just cogs in the machine, and completely expendable. And so I just don't understand it. I don't understand the expendability of us all in the leftist world. I don't understand. No, it's not that. They're zealots. They're like Al Qaeda. They're our own little like Al Qaeda. Where they're zealots and everyone is expendable for the greater good. Now for Al Qaeda and the crazy Arabs, sorry. I was married to an Arab for a while, Arab woman. And we're expendable. Oh, I laugh. I should be crying. Yeah, so we're their ideology, like the zealotous religious types, is paramount, and so everyone is expendable. We don't, or we don't. Leftists don't. Hey, I'm very busy. Please, oh, who's calling me? I actually got a gig. I'm going to. I got ADD today. Yeah, so we're completely expendable to the left, and essentially in their ideology. So what happens is just like the religious nuts. If we die as people, it's the group, right? It's that whole communist socialist thing, the greater good of all, which by the way is never the greater good of all. It's the greater good of the few on top. That's communism and socialism. So everybody below is expendable, as opposed to free market capitalism, where it is about the individual and the individual's growth and ability to expand, and the individual, will take people with them, because here's what happens. One works and one doesn't. Capitalism works, Marxism, socialism does not. And if you want proof, you could just look through any history book, assuming it hasn't been, clear cut or whited out, or, blacked out, or whatever you want to call it. So you can't read it anymore, or so you pretend it's something that it's not. And it happens right now. You look at things like there was just a city council meeting where they were declaring how awful Hamas is, and people in the meeting, these young idiots, these young morons who, if they went to Israel, would be slaughtered, murdered, raped, you name it, for being their regular liberal selves. We're sitting there, they're going, okay, well, they murdered people, they beheaded people. They're like, no, they didn't murder anyone. No, they didn't behead anyone. It's like, do you need the videos? Do you want it? We got play them up here. It's kind of grotesque, barbaric. And then Hamas now wants a 130, 150 day, ceasefire. With complete withdrawal of Israeli troops, like they're the one holding the cards, like they're the ones winning this thing. And then even Biden was like, that's pretty crazy, and that's Biden saying it. Now, of course, the dopes and the idiot leftists who were at this meeting will be like, no, it makes sense because they didn't kill anybody. But Hot Fought says trees and plants need CO2 to survive. Actually, they do. So what's the problem? Trying to kill trees, Hot Thoughts. They're trying to murder our trees. That's exactly right. What happened to save a tree? They don't care. They don't care about people. What are the chances they actually care about the environment? I mean, it's weird. Why can't you care about humanity as much as you care about a damn tree? They're complete morons, Hot Thoughts. Mike says you spent a few summers living on my boat. Bob says that when I ran it as a charter. Oh, that's kind of fun. It sounds kind of cool, actually. Yeah. All right. Now I want to do it. Oh, here we go. This is Fox just changed its headlines on me. The three Republicans, the jackasses, 3 House Republicans torpedoed impeachment vote of Biden border boss. Yeah. Why? Like, what did they promise you? What did you get? Did you? Because based on performance, based on what's going on the border, I don't know how you could let this smug jackass off the hook. And again, he's not the problem. He's a symptom. He is a plant. He is a tool of the left. He's a tool of the Biden administration. He's a tool of the left, just in order to facilitate just a wide open border, and very skilled at it. He did a great job. So bravo on that regard, I guess. Right. But here's your chance to just get rid of him and just be like, hey, look, okay, here we got rid of this guy. It doesn't really do much, but it's symbolic. Or it could have been symbolic, but instead we can't even get that right. So much for symbolism, It's like, no, we can't even get the basics of getting this yutz out of the office because of the 3 House Republicans who refused to do it. These jackasses. I don't get it. I mean, here's the thing: you're gonna get rid of Mayorkas. Biden's gonna replace him with some other tool, some other leftist plant, some other wide open border guy or woman, or they. Ideally, he'll probably bring in some trans person in a dress, just for woke points in your election season. Oh God, laugh or cry. Yeah, so I just remember I'm kind of diving back here. But getting back to the fuel prices in California, which I was talking about earlier. So yeah, the fuel prices here in California, they go up. This is true of anything. I was surprised when they actually came down here. When they actually came down, and I was like, "What is it? It's only like $4.39 a gallon," which here is a bargain. That's the cheap station. That's Costco. And then they started going up again. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Because usually what the Democrats do is they wind up right before the election taking the strategic oil reserve, at least in the past few years, right? And flooding the market with it to force down the price right before the election, and then they get elected, and then it pops again. And we're running out of strategic reserves, so they can't seem to do that much longer. So yeah, I was very surprised when they did that. The last Republican to vote did the right thing to allow impeachment to be brought up again. Yes, I agree, Heidi. I was glad to see that they were trying to do it again, and I think they got one of the. There was 4, I think, originally who voted against impeaching Mayorkas, and then I think I guess they got it down to 3. But what the hell? Like these should be slam dunks. Should be. Like whoever voted against this should absolutely go. They need to go. 3 GOP, they broke ramps and voted against it. How do you vote against that measure? What? Because it's all personal interest. It's definitely not for the interest of your whatever community you're from. Every community is getting overrun. That's crazy. So they must have been promised something. I don't know what they were promised, but someone got paid. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know how to put that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right, Bob. There is no strategic oil reserve since FJB took office. Yeah, he's eliminated. It's like he plays such a game. Or he doesn't play a game. He's a buffoon. He's a mindless moron. He's a dope. So he's not the one playing the game. He's just the puppet of those who are. And so Uncle Joe here. just like, okay, what do I do now? What should happen? Oh, okay. So they got the strategic reserve they had, and every time that they need to win in the election, they need to bring the price of fuel down. So they go to that strategic reserve and they bring it in. Remember when Biden was trying to get this was right before the election, I guess maybe so he wouldn't have to go to the well, literally one more time to the strategic reserve, and try and get Arab nations to not raise our fuel prices right away. Like, hey, can I at least get elected? And it really was. I don't think the Arab countries agreed to it in their best interest. You want Biden to get elected. Honestly, when I shouldn't give them ideas, but as an Arab state, as a sponsor of terror, etc., you should really have like a bargain basement clearance sale right before Joe Biden is about to, I don't want to get elected, but the votes are going to, we're about to vote for the president. Because they're like, okay, we really want Biden back. This is the greatest thing ever. I mean, if you're a rogue nation, if you're a terrorist nation, if you're someone who hates America, Jews, etc., Biden is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I never understood that analogy, but I'm using it right now because it wasn't sliced before. I had to slice it myself. Because if you can keep Biden in power, you can continue doing whatever nefarious acts, whatever things you want to do, carte blanche. You get Trump in there, that ends day one. That ends day one, my friend. That stops immediately. So they don't want that. So it would surprise me if they didn't say, all right, well, let's just lower the prices for, I don't know, a couple months. We'll make it back. Biden's already closing down everything that wasn't closed down before. Like happy hour for pedo Dems. Yes, hot thoughts. let me check comments real quick. I'm still doing the Rumble beta, which I love. I really like the Rumble beta. It's easy to start, and it gives me my awkward sign on instead of my sign off. But that's all right. All right. Money does talk, Docs. Hotpot says probably promised bottomless kids. He is a hair sniffer. Mike says just the evil behind him, Bob. Oh, it's moving fast now. Doxy says I don't have a. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Laura Nickod, good to see you, buddy. Laura Loomer or Rana McRoney, who use more Botox. I don't know. I don't know either of them. Okay, so we got Mayorkas. We still got Mayorkas. Oh. And then Nikki Haley, man, she walked into a buzzsaw. Nevada primary. It's a caucus. They don't pay any mind. Like the libs try to be like, hey, you got to do a primary. They're like, we're a caucus state, the Republican Party. we're a caucus day. Whatever. It's like you gotta have a primary. It's like, all right, do your primary, but we're just gonna make it a caucus anyway. So whatever. So then Haley comes in and loses to none of the above, essentially. In the primary, which didn't matter anyway, but it's more of a, just like meh. Oh goodness. CBS Sports Boss reacts to the idea of a Trump replacing Biden for Super Bowl interview. Yeah, and this is just, again, it just goes to the sorry state of our leader, mentally, physically, emotionally. Hat trick. I don't know what his emotions are. I don't know if he has any. It's a straw man. But yeah, he can't speak in public. He forgot the name of Hamas. He's calling dead. He's talking recently to dead French leaders who've been dead for years. I mean, the guy he's off. He's got his marbles are like rolling around on the floor. I honestly think that's what he trips on when he's going to the podium. The few marbles he's got left drop out of one of the ears, and it goes right over. Luckily lands softly on his full diaper, so he doesn't lose a hip. I just don't understand. I don't get it. Biden is just he's so far gone that he can't even do a Super Bowl interview. So the CBS boss reacts to the idea of Trump replacing Biden for the Super Bowl interview. They can't let Biden in a non-scripted format. They can't let Biden in a place where he would have actual questions. But more importantly, and I think this is the number one reason, because I feel like they would come in, they'd be like, okay, look, this is Joe. He's going to come in. We're going to prop him up over there. We're not going to show him walking in or walking out because we know that's a disaster. So someone's going to carry him in, put him down. He'll probably have something he could sit on, but it doesn't look like he's sitting. So he's kind of standing. You ask him these questions and then he answers. They can't have him at the Super Bowl because as soon as he enters the Super Bowl, which is in Vegas, he's going to be booed. He's going to be mocked. People are going to be like, but these are NFL fans. They're not, most of them aren't libs. They like sports. These are meat and potatoes people. These are, your Raiders crowd, even though they're not in the Super Bowl, they'll probably be hanging out there. You got the Chiefs, which, how racist is that? And the Niners are pretty lib, but still, he's going to get booed. It's going to be FJB all over again, right? And so that's the real reason, because they can still control the interview. They'll pretend it's real. They'll pretend the questions are unscripted. They'll pretend it's matter of fact. But granted, Biden will still make his usual amount of flubs. But the real issue that they have is they can't let him show up on a jumbotron. They can't show him walk. Well, he can't walk anywhere. They'll just cut to him, stapled to the chair, whatever. And but as soon as they show that stupid head of his, that straw-headed pudding head of his on the jumbotron, people are gonna boo. Just so sad. This is our president. This is who the Democrats are like, oh yeah, me too. Our illustrious leader. No Hotbot says, what's going on with Nikki's hair and teeth? Hotbot says, have you seen Nikki's teeth and hair? She's not embarrassed of anything. I have not, but now it's all I want to see. Oh my goodness. All right, let me check the comments. She bankrupted the RNC. She needs to go. Okay. Well, I know bankrupting is a much more serious crime there, Talit, but all I'm interested in is the nails and teeth at this point. Fun guy 85. Good to see you. I think he's going to conveniently pass away. That's the Democrats. It's like it's a good news, bad news scenario. It's like, okay, the dumbest, worst, potentially the most corrupt president in our nation's history has gone. The bad news is our puppet is gone. You're going to get someone else in, and you're not going to, the powers that be, the Democrat powers that be that run the show, that control Biden, that write the script that he reads from. And anytime he varies from it, the White House has to walk back. They lose their puppet. They lose their control. That's over. But at the same time, with a different candidate, they might actually be able to win. Yeah, I mean, they're going to cheat either way. But the groundswell of support for Trump is so great. Or anyone other than Biden, even within the own Democrat Party, is so great that to win, they might have to lose their biggest puppet, their their greatest crowning achievement, being able to just literally, like, almost from a remote control a president of the United States, tell them to say what they want them to say. This groupthink, a communist socialist group of Democrats that runs Biden, that runs the puppet, that pulls the strings. They lose all that. So a lot of people are going to lose in this. No one I like. The Democrats who control puppet Biden. And of course, all of our enemies, they're going to be miserable. The Arab sponsors of terror in Russia and anyway, China, they're losing the biggest straw man ever, a flim flam, a doormat. They're losing that. You're going to have Trump come in, or who else is going to be besides Trump? He's going to have Trump come in, and they're going to be scared again. And they're going to be, okay, hey, we're just, we're having some fun. And then, Trump's like the big guy, comes in, he's like, hey, you leave my brother alone. The brother, I guess in this case, would be the United States. Oh my God. In Vegas, yeah, let's go Brandon. I think they should let's go Brandon. Exactly, Bob. I think they should let's go Brandon, whether or not Biden shows or not, just for the hell of it. Biden might pick the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. God, that's right. You won't even be able to remember what teams are playing. Oh, that's hysterical. Oh my goodness. Yeah, make 1984 fiction again, Bob. Yeah, Biden has just Biden, the Democrats, they have instituted it as public policy. They really have. There's for right down. Remember when they're going to do their own little ministry of truth, their own little whether they already had it. It was just nobody. It didn't have a name and it wasn't really official. But they had their own ministry of truth where they told you what you could and couldn't hear. If you put something on that was against whatever the ministry of truth wanted out there, it would be labeled as misinformation. And strangely enough, everything labeled misinformation later turned out to be true. And then of course you had all the social media. Everything. It had to all come together perfectly for Dems for Biden to eke out a victory in 2020. It had to come. You needed a global pandemic. You needed a complete leftist-controlled media, character assassination of Trump. You needed orchestrated riots. You needed the spark, which they got in George Floyd. To get the ball rolling, to have the impetus for the organized, choreographed riots. You needed the villainization of police. You needed to literally knock this country on its ass. Just so Uncle Joe could come in and be like, hey, I'm the president now. Oh, and of course, again with the mainstream media, the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop, because that would have been the equivalent of the Hillary emails. And they learned from their mistakes. The Democrats did. They're like, okay, we cannot let any truth of that, like that second shoe drop right before the election, or Trump will win. And still, Biden barely eked out a victory, and a questionable one at that. So they're in trouble. They're missing a lot of key elements in the 2020 victory. They are missing a global pandemic. They are missing the spark plug, which they are actively, I guarantee, looking for that. They need their next George Floyd. They are looking everywhere for the next George Floyd. Like, oh, please, God, please, we got to orchestrate riots again, get Antifa and BLM, cracking heads and looting and scaring everybody. We'll villainize the police some more, what. And the worst part is everything that they do, that they claim is designed to better people's lives, especially minority communities, just makes things worse for them consistently. And yet the minority communities and the woke libs, they keep voting the Democrats in again and again and again, when all they do is destroy their communities more and more and more and more. It's this brainwashing, and it starts from the youngest age. It's this government zealotism, where instead of Allah, their Allah is big government. We're all victims of this. We're all victims of that. Why? Because I don't know. I've just been told that my whole life. Oh, okay. So what do I do? Oh, you can just vote for this one party because they're going to help us. Really? Have they helped you in 40, 50, 60 years? No. No, not at all. Thank you. Delete. I'm just looking down at something. It says, I love those shorts by Sears. Oh, JP. I thought you were talking. I like JP too. I thought you were talking about like Sears, the company. Like I really like them shorts at Sears. They're good. They show off my calves. Although really, what shorts don't? All right, Hot Pods. Have a good day, buddy. Good to see you. All right, let me check out the New York Post. See what's going on there. I always like the Post. Hello and goodbye. So Harry, sorry. Prince Harry comes in, does a whirlwind tour of I guess his dad's colon. He comes in and says hi to Charles. Says, "Hey, you got cancer. Sorry to hear about it. Bada bing, bada boom. Got to go." I showed up though, and obviously that's a Meghan thing, which is just going to make him hate her more. And she's like, "Okay, you can go see your father, who's probably dying of cancer, but you have to be quick about it because if you're there too long, people are going to talk. Okay, okay." And so Harry's like, "Oh, Dad, I love you, I love you, I love you. I gotta go because Meghan says, hey." And then he gets home. She's like, "Oh, all right. I'm glad you got that done with." She's just the devil. Oh, goodness gracious. So, yeah, Prince Harry heads back to California after a whirlwind 24-hour London trip to see cancer-stricken King Charles. All right. Well, you did you barely, I'd say you did your sonly duties. You barely did them. You sort of did your work as a son. Yeah. Why? I mean, it is a little questionable. Like, why even go? I mean, you couldn't assume if you're gonna go that far, just spend a day. But I guarantee it was Meghan. She's like, "No, I don't even want you to go. But if you go, you got to come back quick, or people are gonna be like, why isn't Meghan there? I don't want to look bad." She's the worst. Alarming. Oh, here we go. This is our leader. And could you imagine if Trump did this? Could you imagine if any Republican did this? Anyone other than Joe Biden, our straw-headed straw man of a president. Alarming footage appears to show President Biden. It hurts to say President Biden, forgetting Hamas's name. Kind of in the news, Joe. This isn't like your Angelo stories from Amtrak where you forgot this guy you supposedly talked has been dead for years, hasn't worked for Amtrak years prior, and then repeated that story continuously. And then they, again, didn't get called out by the liberal media. So alarming footage appears to show President Biden forgetting Hamas's name when asked about hostages held in Gaza. So again, could you imagine the outcry, the calls for impeachment or getting rid of Trump if any of this had happened to him? He's like, he suddenly brain farted Hamas. And Biden's brain is one big fart. Let's be honest. There's a lot of fart particulate in that little cabeza of his. In every picture, he looks like he's taking a dump. You can't find one where he's not like. Maybe just try. Maybe he's got like them 2 brain cells left in his head, and he's just got to like, I got to make him work again. Oh, I crap my pants. It's like that's why he keeps crapping his pants. He keeps trying to make his brain work. He's like pushing, but he's pushing the wrong way, and out it goes. I always said, why not? He hasn't done a cognitive exam yet. Still, why not? Why didn't they do it during his colonoscopy? They were right there. There you go. Thank you all this week. And I am going to be performing someplace. I got a gig. At a corporate gig, so I'm gonna have some fun with that. It's not going to be non-political. It'll be very unpolitical. Okay, here we go. Travis Kelce's mom reveals how pricey Super Bowl suites are impacting. Dear rich people, dear people who have multi-millionaire sons in the NFL or whatever, or daughters in Taylor Swift's case, right? Stop bitching about how expensive Super Bowl suites are. 99.9% of us can't even afford the nosebleeds. They're like, what are they, $6-7 grand to be way up at the top and not even be able to see the field because the lights are in the way, Yeah, it's so hard to get a suite to see my boy play. Shut up. But have them buy you a big screen TV. Or have them pay for a suite. But they're all taken. And then I don't even know where we're going to park the private jet. I might have to fly commercial. So out of touch. So Travis Kelce's mom reveals how pricey Super Bowl suites are impacted. Nobody cares. Oh, your kid's not making enough money. You can't float you. You're friends with Taylor Swift. You can't just stay at hers or vice versa. Whatever. Idiots. Oh, it makes me crazy. Just the out of touch. And this has been a thing. Like these we're supposed to care. We're supposed to care about all these rich elites who will make millions of dollars. I won't say billions, but certainly millions. Taylor Swift's case, probably billions. And we're supposed to be concerned because they're having a hard time getting a luxury suite at a game none of us can afford to see. And I think it's not going to be on. I don't know if it's free. I think it's like on Fox or something. But even a lot of these playoff games, you got to have a subscription to this or that, you know? And so they're going to want, it's like these jackasses, like your Alyssa Milanos, who are like, hey, I'm doing a GoFundMe. So, because my kid wants to go to Cooperstown with his class or with his baseball team. We're just going to do GoFundMe for it. I don't want to pay for it or nothing because I'm rich. Like, you should gladly, you're doing well, pay for the damn team. You take your props from the players and the mothers and the families, but no, you're going to outsource that. You're going to GoFundMe from your dopey fans. And again, on that end, I'm fine. If you want to go, it's disgusting. It's a despicable thing to do as a wealthy person to go fund crap for your own kid. It's horseshit. But if you have fans that are that stupid, that are like, oh yeah, I barely can make ends meet, but I want to give Alyssa some money so our kid can go to Cooperstown. That'll be great. Then it's on you. It's on the people giving the money. Same thing. I detest the holy rollers, the prosperity preachers who like, give me money, give me money, give me money. And then I got gold Rolex and this. I just drive a Porsche. I have sex with half the parishioners. Aren't I a man of God? No, you're not. In any way, you're not a Christian. You're nothing. You're worse than that because you're using Christ. You're using God for your own ends. It is despicable. But at the same time, if you're stupid enough to watch a guy come in with the Rolex watch and a fur coat and he just looks like he's sweaty because he just had sex with someone in the tabernacle, then it's on you, you stupid idiots. God, the Bishop of Bling, and then he gets robbed. I think he got robbed live. Like he was doing a service with his I don't know, his Rolex and his diamond this and his diamond. I think it was a live service, right? And then maybe it was at the church. So he gets robbed and they take all his stuff. Good. I just like to see it. He's such a jackass. I was glad to see it. And then I guess like two of the suspects died or something. And he's like, this is terrible. I'm gonna do the service for free for these guys because that'll get him into heaven. Would you just it's like a trapdoor to hell? You giving them a eulogy, like they weren't going there quick enough already. It was like, they were going to kind of go around on the slide and then make their way down to hell. But no, we're just going to drop straight down. You got this guy doing your eulogy, and the guy. And again, I'm just talking out of my ass. The guy's so corrupt. How do we know it wasn't a hit? I know the perfect cover. After I get him whacked for stealing my jewels, I'll do the eulogy. No one will know anything. You think the guy's not connected? I don't know. I'm making up nonsense. It is complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. Is it? Maybe. I don't know. Could be. All right. So yeah, wah boo-hoo, rich people. And I don't have a sweet luxury. It's so hard to get a luxury suite, and the champagne's not even that good. All right, here's more horse shit from Hamas. By the way, it's Hamas, Joe. They're the slaughterers, the murderers, the butchers of the Jews in Israel on the 7th. Remember that? Remember October 6th? January 6th. I didn't remember for a second. Oh God, I'm getting Biden-ish. Scary. I got 30 more years before I got to worry about it. All right. Hamas. Oh, those great guys at Hamas that all the liberal college students like that if they went over there and even spent a few moments in a Hamas camp would be tortured, murdered, and raped. Hamas proposes a 135-day Gaza truce. Oh, wow. They're serious about peace. With a complete complete Israeli withdrawal. That makes sense. You're in a position to negotiate that right now, Hamas. Yeah. You already got like 5 of you left in a couple caves. And unfortunately, what I think is mostly dead hostages at this point. I mean, I know you have hostages. How many of them are still among the living? I question. I would say half the hostages they supposedly have are deceased. And the other half probably wish they were. I mean, I can only imagine the horrors inflicted on the women. I know you're a real pro-women party Democrats. You really care about them. So much so you've given their sports to men. But yeah, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, they're demanding 135-day truce, complete with complete Israeli withdrawal. Why in the world would Israel agree to that, including freeing all the hostages? No. Go in there and get the hostages yourself, or just have them handle it. They want to live. They want to maybe have a lower sentence. Good luck with that. These hostages, I feel like most of them are dead already, and obviously Israel's not going to do that. It's absurd. Even Biden was like, He made like a side face. Oh, that might have been a fart. All right, fly by NYCHA inside the 2 million. It just seems light for a bribery scandal. NYC housing bribery scandal hall of shame. They arrested like 70 people or something, right? And this housing, pay to play if you want this built or that built or this done or this put on or whatever. So it's all corrupt. And I guess it was like 70. I think there was like 70 people in this indictment. Now, 70 people and $2 million seems light for a bribery scandal. Kind of a nickel and dime bribery scandal. I mean, the 2 million is a lot, but it's spread out over 70 people. Though obviously, the whole organization NYCHA is corrupt. You got 70 people, in graft. That's just the people you could catch. There's maybe some smoother operators in the mix. Ugh. Anytime I see the word woke, I go, ugh. It never ends well. It's never about justice. It's just racism. Repackage racism with the bow. Here you go, CRT. Repackage racism with the bow. It's okay. Hate white people. Everything that we've done, the Democrat Party to your cities, you're going to want to blame white people for that. Okay. And if you want, ideally, if you would like, you can also blame Asians. We've decided that they're okay too. And very light-skinned Hispanics, they will be next. You must be this dark to not be a colonialist. Laugh or cry, folks. Yes. So the bribery scandal. I'm not that impressed. Woke kindergarten leader. This is a program that schools and guess where? Where do you think woke kindergarten would be a program? Do you think it would be a Republican-run city? Do you think it would be a city with a decent school system? What do you think? You think it might be a Democrat city? You'd be right. San Francisco too. So really, it's a shit show if it says woke and it's in San Francisco. Ooh, doggy. That is a nightmare of epic proportions, and it is. So your tax dollars went to give, for social justice this or blah 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 that. Yeah. A San Francisco Bay Area elementary school was trained by an organization called Woke Kindergarten. Yeah, let's get these kids sex changes early. Whose leader wants to see America and Israel destroyed as countries, according to posts on social media. Isn't that pretty much every leftist at this point? Anyone who lives in San Francisco at this point, they're doing a great job on their own. They're like, hey, look, we want to destroy all America. How do we do it? Well, let's start by just destroying our own city, bringing it to its knees, just getting all businesses out, turning it into just this Mad Max hellscape. And then we'll try and expand that to the rest of the country, which is essentially what Gavin Newsom, I think that's his long plan, isn't it? He was the mayor of San Francisco, was already on the way down, and he really just stomped his foot on the neck of the city, and then said, use that as a launching point to the governorship of the state, because we're filled with woke idiot liberals, is now doing very well at destroying the entire state, and then is hoping to move on to the presidential realm so he can destroy and decimate the entire country. I think that's the long-term plan for Newsom. Maybe not. All right, San Francisco Bay Elementary School, trained by an organization called Woke Kindergarten, whose leader wants to see America and Israel destroyed as countries, according to her own posts. She's not even trying to hide it. Like, psst, I want to destroy America. She's like, hey, I want to destroy America, everybody. Like me on Facebook, or probably Instagram. According to the website, they own both. According to the website, the head of the organization, IKEA, like IKEA, like I can buy cheap furniture in your head. Okay. IKEA Key Gross. Oh, she's a they, them too. Yeah, go for them pronouns. Why not? You want death to America? Why? Well, who's going to have a regular pronoun? I can't wait to hear about your sexuality. She's a they, them, polyamorous, pansexual, frappuccino with a twist. That probably is an actual gender, and you have to recognize it, because if you don't, you're anti whatever the hell I just said. So cultural organizers are currently innovating ways to resist. Oh, all this resisting logic, resisting common sense, resisting rationality, and create with their pedagogy, woke kindergarten. I believe the United States has no right to exist. Then leave. Why are you in some place that shouldn't exist? Isn't that some kind of cosmic weird? You shouldn't be here. We shouldn't exist, and neither should you. Nobody should exist. So the United States should not exist. From the river to the sea, right? Yeah. Huh? Is that you? Okay, probably. I believe every settler colony who committed genocide against native peoples, against indigenous peoples, has no right to exist. All right, immediately, I demand a genealogy test of this woman. LeVar Burton, He did Roots and all this stuff, and he got like, oh my God, his great 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 grandfather was a Confederate soldier. Where are you? Let's see you. Let's run the numbers, sweetie. Let's run the numbers and see where you pan out. You're a little light skinned for my liking. Sorry, I was being a liberal. I was being a liberal in deciding if whether or not you should get a scholarship. I kid, but no, that's kind of how they do it. You're light skinned. Easy does it. I think you're compensating. And I would very much like to see a genealogy test on you that doesn't somehow have a white guy like me as a grandpa. Because I'm pretty sure you got a little white in you. Sorry, you're a little light in the melanin, which means you should also be the victim of your own racist ideology, right? Right? That's what it is. It's a racist ideology. So yes, that's that. You committed genocide against Native peoples, I'm guessing, and indigenous peoples, and you have no right to exist. That's what I think. Using your own words, of course, sweetie. Y'all demons, she said. Y'all demons. I'm assuming we're talking white people or anyone slightly less white than you, right? Right? You're the new bar. Like anyone below me, color-wise, is the devil. I'm okay. I just make the cutoff. Who decided? I did. Okay. Y'all demons, y'all villains, y'all use the word y'all too much. I'm speaking to this lady right here. She uses y'all a lot. I guess she's from the South. All right. Get free of y'all. It's like, is that her catchphrase? I guess it's like her catchphrase. I believe in a free Palestine. Oh yeah, remember I was joking. I said river to the sea. I said, yeah, she probably river to the sea. Yep, there she goes. Puts it in print. Didn't put the y'all in though. I'm a little disappointed there. I kind of got used to it. So I'll put it in for you. Y'all, I believe in a free Palestine from river to the sea. Gross continued. Please go to Palestine. Please be a missionary in Palestine. I want you to get in there. I want you to go right to Hamas and just tell them how much you care about them. And again, see how long you last. And ideally, if we could bet on that, my bet, a couple hours, 10 minutes. Really, you're not a particularly attractive woman, so you lose. That's not good for your longevity there. Eventually, they're going to pull off the burqa. Gross. This is her last name. Wait a minute. Is this her? Yeah, is this her name? Her name's actually Gross. I mean, I'm just. Let me. I'm going to go back to that. Woken, blah blah blah. She likes to use the word y'all a lot. IKEA. Okay. Yeah, her name is Gross. Wow. Talk about the name fitting the object. And I'm calling you an object because I don't think technically you're kind of a they them. I don't know. I don't know what the hell you are. I don't think you do. To be quite honest. Oh yeah. So her last name is Gross. IKEA Key, because she probably got tired of IKEA jokes, so she goes by Key. Key Gross. Oh look. All right. Let me show this picture. I'm going to show this picture of her. If I can, because it also gives me a chance to use my what am I doing? Well, I'm on the New York Post. New York. Look, she's a very light-skinned black woman. She's got some white in her. Please. She's self-loathing, clearly. All right. Wait, why is it? Oh, I put in the New York Post, and it's self-populated because I guess I looked at a story. Loud fart sound erupts during John Kerry's speech. Yeah, it was the end of his run, basically, wasn't it? Or the end of his run and the beginning of his runs. There you are. Thank you. All this week, try the veal. All right, so Sweet Escape, they talk about William, and I'm going to try and pull this a picture of this woke lunatic up. They changed the headlines again. It's harder to do. Here we go. I got her. Gotcha. All right, let me go in here. I want you to see how white this woman is. She's like almost as white as I am. That's not true. But this could be a Rachel Dolezal situation here. A little over the top, Do you know Rachel Dolezal? I think Rachel Dolezal might be slightly blacker in both facial melanin and ethnicity. Laugh at the left because they are a bunch of rubes. Da-da-da-da-do, da-da-dee. All right, here, let's get rid of this. We don't need no commercials. Thank you. All right, here we go. More commercials. There she is. Oh, we got you. There she goes. There she blows. All right, look, she's pretty light-skinned African-American lady, don't you think? You telling me that this woman, if I gave her a 23andMe, by the way, how about a sponsorship? I bring that up a lot. Test, you're not some European dude somewhere in this background, in this lineage, a white fella. Like, she's pretty white. She looks like a white person with a tan, with the absurd pink hair. How else is everyone going to know that they better ask her pronouns? They're just gonna look at you like, how can I make sure everyone knows they better ask my pronouns first? I know, crazy pink hair. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Laugh or cry, folks. Laugh or cry. Good times. All right. So there's the head IKEA. Gross. Is she ever? And she does not like white people. She does not like Jews, although I feel she is. I feel like Rachel Dolezal is more ethnically diverse than she is. So I think about just a couple more. She's so stupid. You want to hear? And again, this is a woman who, she's not just stupid on her own in a vacuum. She's not just stupid on her own in an Instagram page. She created woke kindergarten, and then which was purchased through taxpayer dollars, and then instituted in schools to promote this gibberish. And then you wonder why people grow up living, these inner city slums in these horrible conditions, in these detestable environments, and continue to vote for the party responsible, because they've been brainwashed from day one with things like woke kindergarten and CRT and this and that. You're a victim. But what about them? They did all right. Pay no attention to them. They're white supremacists, but they're black. What do you know? The woke kindergarten leader also called for schools to be abolished. If you abolish the schools, technically you're out of, like, the level of stupidity. If you abolish the schools, you are out of business. But your business is destroying the United States, destroying everything. It's running a steamroller over the greatest country in the history of mankind. Thank you very much, please and thank you. That is it. So yeah, she wants to abolish herself, and of that I'm actually in favor of. But that's a big price to pay just to get rid of you. But again, San Francisco, I don't know, they probably paid her a lot of money. I assume it's taxpayer money, so they don't care. If they're paying $1.7 million for a toilet, they're probably paying $2.7 million for this yutz. I don't know. Although honestly, she should be. I would pay $1.7 million if I could get a toilet big enough to flush her down it. I think about the land. I think about where's the y'alls? Come on, I like the y'alls. I think about land back to indigenous peoples globally. All right. I think about the fact that we would not have to participate in these systems because, well, yeah, we would be a lawless, chaotic society with a very short life expectancy, I'm guessing, because none of these systems would exist. All these systems that you use now to live and buy food and have food at a place to get and not have to grow it on your own and hunt animals, that system, that means kids wouldn't have to go to school. Well, why would they? If you're going to be stupid, you don't need to go to school. Although technically liberal schools just make kids stupid anyways. They can't read or write it in most liberal indoctrination academies. Let's not call them schools. Most of these kids that can't write at grade level anyways, or let alone a couple grades below. They just pass them on, move them on the poverty bandwagon, into the generational poverty funnel, and then pour them back into their communities and be like, don't forget to vote Democrat. You're welcome. Oh, it makes me nuts. It makes me nuts. Okay, so yeah, she's a lunatic. But again, she was hired by San Francisco School District. Could you imagine, like what? Like, she must have just put woke in front of the word kindergarten, and then San Francisco people are like, oh, that's it. There's not a lot of thought process involved into a woman's program for these poor kids who had to take her silly woke kindergarten. Which all she does is just, I hate everyone and I want to destroy everything. And then, oh yeah, let's put her in front of young minds. She believes that we are existential beings that are oppressed. Yeah, the only thing being oppressed is my intelligence by your stupidity. Solidarity with all oppressed beings. Oh God, it's painful. All right, here we go. This is what I was looking for. This is why I was running so long with this. But also, just the stupidity is it's mind-boggling. Like, I almost need to feed more. Like, can't she be the stupid? Can she say something stupider than her last statement? Is it possible? And it's, boy, to her credit, she everything is stupider than the thing before. So Glassbrook Elementary in Hayward, California. So if your kid goes there, I'd pull them out. If this is what the school system's willing to spend money on, they spend, how much do you think? What do you think? Not as much as the toilet. It's like half a toilet under Newsom's new $500,000 toilet plan. $250,000 in federal funds, tax dollars, provided by a program meant to help boost test scores. So this is designed to boost test scores from a woman who doesn't even want schools or a society for that matter. In some of the country's lowest performing schools. Why do the lowest performing schools always seem to spend, and I won't say what little money they have, because generally speaking, they have a lot of money. Money is not the issue in public schools. It's policy. It's pandering progressivism. That is the issue at school. It's setting the bar so low, you have to look up. You have to look up from the sewer to see it. That makes sense. I don't know. It's setting a low bar. You trip over it a lot. I think that's better analogy. But yeah, so these poor, and again, poorly performing schools does not denote a lack of financial resources. Generally speaking, these public school systems that do terrible are pretty damn well funded, really well funded with taxpayer dollars. The problem is money is pissed away with stuff like this. How do I know? Because if you look at, like, say, New York or Chicago, where you have charter schools in place and they're side by side with the public schools, the charter schools, generally speaking, are about half the cost of the public school alternative. And yet their performance far exceeds the public schools. And if for some reason the charter schools' performance does not meet the threshold or what they were their charter, they are gone in 5 years. That is the beauty of a charter school. That is why Democrat progressives hate them. And not every charter school is going to be great, but if they're not, they'll be gone, and so that's why these progressive Democrats hate them, because they show what can be done with less money and just a change in attitude and a belief that you can achieve in setting the bar higher rather than lower, in increasing your demand of students instead of decreasing them because of your inherent racism that you don't think they can master even the basics. So you're just going to keep lowering the bar. You're not doing them a damn favor. Oh, look, I got it so you could graduate grade school and high school. Oh, let's call it high school. You graduate high school. Isn't that great? No. How's that great? They're going to go into a life of poverty. That's great. For Democrats, it is, because, of course, they'll wind up voting Democrat. Idiots. All right. Let's leave off. That was the information I wanted. Oh, wait. No. There's more. I can't stop with this story because it's just a perfect encapsulation of everything that's wrong with the left in public schools, everything that's wrong with woke progressivism. It's all in here. You have stupid idiots, morons, y'all monsters. You have people like this who are given power over the minds of the youngest, most precious things that we have, our children, and they're there simply to destroy them, essentially, to bring them down. So it doesn't matter how much money you give them, doesn't matter how much money you pour in. When the ideas that they're teaching are based in the fallacies of the left, this is what happens. When you take away time from English and math for things like CRT, which is just, this is who you hate when you have a crappy life because we gave you a crappy education. Hate them. That's all CRT is. And when you constantly lower the bar, when you won't take kids out of the classrooms who are disruptive, who are violent, who are flouting any and all rules and laws, and not just expel them, but no, we got to keep them here for social justice, but everyone else is going to suffer. Every other kid who wants a decent education, wants to be better, is going to suffer. Too bad. That's the left. And that's why you see this crap day in and day out. And then voters, liberal voters whose kids go to these schools, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, more of this, please. And that's the beauty of this. The progressives love to crap on charter schools. And yet the biggest supporters of charter schools are minority communities, parents who actually give a shit about their kids, who go, hey, my kid was doing terrible at this cesspool school you had him at, this public school, the one you don't care about, the one that you don't, the teachers that just sit there, because why even try to educate these kids? What's the point? You'll get fired for standing out too much as a good teacher. So they're the ones who actively and fervently support the charter systems. Like, okay, I said my kid was doing poorly at this public school to the charter school. They're thriving because almost all of them are inherently intelligent. It's only the community that beats them down, the progressive policies that beat them down, that tell them they can only be a victim, that tell them to hate this or that, and that the school time is spent on teaching your kid who to hate and to hate each other and all this other crap, everything that it shouldn't be. Because they don't want educated citizens. They want Democrat voters at the end of the day. And then the two generally don't mix. So this is their test scores of this great Hayward Elementary, where they're spending $250K on this yutz. Less than 12% of the students can read at grade level. 12%. That's not 12% that can't. Or it's 12% that can read at grade level. Less than 12%. They rounded up from zero, I guess. Less than 12% of students can read at their grade level. Now, of course, they will be passed on to the next grade. And, of course, big surprise. The woke lefty school 4%, under 4% are proficient at math. A 4% drop in both subjects in the last 2 years, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. None of this is surprising. This is the exact result you would expect of progressive liberalism. You see it everywhere. It's never the opposite. It's never like, oh, wow, the test scores went up since we instituted CRT. Oh, well, woke kindergarten's been a boon for our kids reading. All they can do, because they can't read nothing, is give them pop-up how to be a trans books. I kid, and yet I don't kid. So Hayward Unified School District Superintendent, who should be fired because if you had anything to do, just fired in general, unless you just came in, told the Chronicle that hiring woke kindergarten had board approval and apparently was more about boosting attendance than test scores. Well, why is that? Because they get paid based on attendance. Again, the whole system is jacked up. It's jacked up. The truancy, they don't care about your kid's education. The only reason they care if your kid goes to school is because they get paid on per kid. So they want the money. Give me the money. Show me the money. Goodness gracious. It's absurd. All right. I can't anymore. But none of this comes as a surprise. This is exactly what you would anticipate from leftists and leftist schools. All right. Here we go. Low blow. Uh-oh. Look out. Brock Purdy gives blunt response after reporters' bizarre Lee Harvey Oswald question. Yeah, what the hell? What are you asking Lee Harvey Oswald question? Oh, I guess because he looks a little like him. All right, whatever. Make a meme. Is that really a question for as a professional journalist? I assume you work for a liberal network. Are you also? You look like this guy. I found a picture of him from the 1840s. He was a slave owner. You look like. I don't know. Yeah, I'm making up stuff like this reporter was. German princess becomes first aristocrat to cover Playboy. Oh, good for you, Yahweh. I'm kidding. Am I really? What? She mad at her husband, her ex? Like, I'll show him. This is my revenge body. Look what you're missing now, buddy boy. All right. Piers Morgan, who's always very blunt. Prince William is right to have nothing to do with royal traitor Harry. I don't disagree with what he's saying. I think eventually traitor Harry will work his way back into the royal family. Bridges will be mended as soon as I would say he kicks Meghan to the curb, but he doesn't. He's not. He's a simp. It's not. I don't feel that's him. I feel Meghan will kick him to the curb, and then he will go back to England, marry old. That's how I see it. I don't see him having the cojones to ever dump Meghan, but she will have the cojones to dump him. I can guarantee it. Alarming footage. Oh, here we go. Alarming footage appears to show President Biden forgetting Hamas's name. Yeah. Oh my God, he's a moron. College coach ejected for storming onto the court and screaming in referees' faces in wild scene. Show some control, you dope. Keith Sampson. Oh, his name's Sampson. Yet short hair in the back. Missed your opportunity. Tie-ins, things like that, commercials. Got to start winning more. What is his name? Kelvin Sampson. Why not Kevin? Just go with Kevin. Made sure that the referees knew exactly what he thought of their performance Tuesday. All right. Well, he's mad. I don't know enough about him to crap on him, but I did. What lies beneath IDF? The Post at least knows what the name Hamas. Unlike Biden. What lies beneath? IDF uncovers Hamas tunnel that once held 12 hostages behind bars, a resting area for terrorists. Yeah. The Israeli army is in there. They're going through the tunnels. They got names. They're looking for people. Good. Get them. Foot on the gas. Take them all out because they have nothing but hatred for Jews, for humanity, for mankind in general. You'd have to be the level of barbarism, butchery, brutality that they showed and committed. Good riddance to bad rubbish is what I say about that. Guardian angels tackle migrant shoplifter why bother? All right, you got a migrant shoplifter. First of all, even if it wasn't a migrant, it was just like a regular New York citizen. Sorry. And they were shoplifting. If it's like LA, they ain't getting arrested. You can tackle them. Okay, good for you. But I guarantee that whoever you tackled will probably sue you for tackling them. Because you're the monster, you're the criminal in this scenario. Will be, if the cops even show up, immediately released or taken to jail and then let out. So here's a Guardian angels tackle migrant shoplifting during live TV interview. Oh, you know what? If it's a live TV interview, that's cool. It's always not on your free time because you're wasting your time. But if it's on TV, it's like, oh, look, hey, check this out. I'm going to go tackle this shoplifter. I know he's not going to go to jail or nothing, but it'll be cool. Yeah, watch. So actually, now I'm on board with it. It wasn't a complete waste of time. You're on TV. Why wouldn't you? And I love it too. It's like the migrant crisis, right? Where it's like, there's no crisis here, but yet if you put a camera anywhere along the southern border, it's just like person after person after person after person. And it's the same thing for shoplifting. You just hang out at a CVS or a Walgreens in a liberal city, and you shoplifting. Side note: I got my car back. I got fixed. It got slammed by a homeless guy in his shopping cart, and I'm calling the Burbank police. Thanks for nothing, Burbank police. Still. And I'm like, hey, look, this guy, he's a lunatic. He was smashed my car. He took off. I think I see him over there, and he's going into a Walgreens. And I'm like, he's going in with his shopping cart. I mean, I know he's going in there to shoplift. Yeah, he just bashed a car. I hurt my knuckle on the shopping cart somehow. I need a Band-Aid. And so he goes in and then comes right out. Obviously, he shoplifted. And the Burbank's like, yeah, we'll send somebody out. Yeah, okay, sure. Then I go to the Burbank police station the next day. And I'm like, hey, I want to report this because this guy's going to do it again. And then probably it'll escalate. Then someone's going to get stabbed or, who knows, beaten. There'll be bad old person get knocked down. And then it's still none couldn't be bothered to come out and talk to me. The place is empty, by the way. It's deserted. This is $1 million mausoleum to law and order. They've given up. Now, Glendale, on the other hand, okay. I like Glendale. They still run a tight ship. Thank you, Glendale PD. Burbank, not so much. They're just like, the Tonight Show left. What's the point? Yeah, but if you want to see a mausoleum to law enforcement, check out. It's beautiful, by the way. Go to the Burbank police station. You can walk around their empty halls because people stop bothering to come in for help because they don't get it. You can talk on a phone to someone you can't see, and then they'll tell you, wait another half hour, someone will be out. Nobody comes out. Sorry, Burbank PD. I'm still mad at you. Will I get over it? I don't know. Maybe not. Technically not my tax office. I'm Glendale. There you go. Thank you, Glendale PD, by the way. You're still awesome. All right, Guardian Angels tackled a man they claimed to be a migrant shoplifter during I don't know how they determined if he was a migrant or just a regular shoplifter, but okay. During a live TV interview from Times Square about the crisis, but cops say he was just a pest trying to disrupt filming. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. Or maybe the cops are like, I don't want to fill out a report. Do you? No. All right. He's just a pest. So, luckily, all the things he shoplifted fell out of his pockets when he was tackled. We don't have to arrest him. And he would have just gotten out. He would have technically, if it's LA, the Angels would be in trouble for tackling them, right? And employees aren't allowed to do it or they get fired. But if you steal less than $900, $800 here in LA, I did a thing about it a while ago. It's a misdemeanor crime. It's been downgraded, so it's literally a ticket. They wouldn't even take you to jail. So yeah. So during this scuffle, SEAL was volunteers tackled him to the ground with one seemingly putting him in a chokehold. Careful with that. He had been shoplifting. SEAL told this happened on Hannity about the fracas without explaining how his members knew. I don't know. Maybe it was just a tackle. Maybe just tackled some dude. Yeah, you're getting sued. I'm sorry. It's the way of the world, folks. The way of the world. All right, let's cut back here to a couple more post stories. What's going on? I went the wrong way. I double clicked when I should have single clicked. How embarrassing. All right, so Harry is a New Jersey man accused of what's with the crazies? New Jersey man accused of stabbing ex-classmate 37 times. Dude, it's a little excessive. Allegedly had a grisly manifesto outlining her murder. So this is the thing, like crazy people create manifestos, nonsensical, deranged, a series of statements, often one not connected to the next. And so does the Democrat Party. Their whole platform is basically one series or statement after statement of insane ideology and just depravity. It's kind of just mashed together. And this is what we're running on this term. Vote Democrat. Think I'm kidding? No. Okay, let me. I'm gonna go to dailymail.uk because they always have some fun stuff. They're a good time. They're a good time. All right, dailymail.uk. What's going on, my friends at the dailymail.uk? So I scratch my ear. Schadenfreude. That is pure. That laugh is pure Schadenfreude, folks. Baltimore DA. What do you think, Democrat? Baltimore DA, a Democrat. Marilyn Mosby. Marilyn Mosby. I kind of like the name. You're crooked as hell, but it's a good name. Marilyn Mosby, everybody, come to the stage. Marilyn Mosby, put your hands together. Oh no, wait, she's going to jail. Marilyn Mosby sobs. Oh, I got caught being corrupt. I've been corrupt before, but this is the first time I've been caught. So she sobs as she faces 40 years. She'll do nothing. She's not doing any time. These people never do. These government officials caught in shenanigans. They never do any time. She won't. So anyway, she was found guilty of COVID mortgage fraud over 2 Florida vacation homes. Something to point out. Where does she buy? She's a Baltimore DA. Where does she buy her homes? With her intimate knowledge of Baltimore and the crime and this and that, where does she choose to buy her swindled homes or her ill-gotten homes or her illegally purchased homes because she's using money she shouldn't have? And she buy it in Baltimore. She buy it in San Francisco. She buy it in New York. Where'd she buy it? Florida. Because she wants it's a long-term investment. And if you have a long-term investment, you want good schools, you want safe streets, you want low poverty, you want low crime. Where are you going to go? You're going to go to a Republican city. You're not going to go to some Democrat shithole. Just saying. I'm not supposed to, but I did. This she got caught with after just 2 months after a perjury conviction. Crooked. And it's hard to be a Democrat because you expect going into these jobs, as you can see from the way the way the people flout the laws once they do, to never be held accountable. Because you're African American, you're woke, you're progressive. That gives you carte blanche, license to steal, and the media to never look into it for fear of disrupting whatever narrative you're currently pushing. Because they don't want to shoot the messenger, they don't want the messenger arrested. So they don't cover it. And yet it was so egregious, so in your face, apparently, that they called around on it. Same thing with Big Fanny over in Georgia. They just have this expectation because they've done it their whole lives since they're a woke progressive of being able to do as long as they told the agenda loudly, say it loudly, of being able to do whatever criminality they want to do and not be called out on the carpet for it, because that's the devil's bargain, right? Well, it ain't working anymore for you. They're coming for you. Sorry. And of course, not the woke people, but there's actual journalism now happening, and people just kind of being like, enough, please. Is it enough of this horse shit already? Good times. So she's going down. But again, it'll be a minor thing. I mean, I'm humiliated and crying. Yeah, but you really won't do any time. She's not going to do time. She'll be a home monitoring. She'll have an ankle bracelet or whatever they do. But I'd like to see it. I like to see that the bad people are finally getting called out, in spite of their cloak of progressivism. They're to protect them. Now, will that happen with organizations like BLM? No, that's too much of a gut punch to the narrative. Too much of a gut punch to let everybody know how stupid they were and how right the right was in calling out BLM for what it was, basically a glorified terrorist organization, feigning to be helpful to the black community, which it absolutely was. And every place that BLM has a presence is the worse for it. Most of the money, not all, but most of the money that was sent to help the black community never went to the actual black community, but just went to the higher ups to buy real estate portfolios or to pay their brother this or that, or their lover this or that in exchange for services, whatever. All corrupt. But again, carte blanche to steal here. We're not really going to come after you. We're going to notice it. We're going to not allow you to take donations in states anymore because you're so blatantly corrupt from your taxes, which you only, I think, recently filed. But there's really will be no punishment for it because that would be too much of a gut punch to the narrative. And we might need you again when Joe, as we get closer to the election to instigate more riots and horseshit. Sorry. I'm not making it up. BLM is so corrupt. Their finances are so crooked that even families of like Trayvon Martin and things were complaining about it. They're like, we didn't hardly get any money. We don't know where the money went. Nobody knows where the money. Well, you know where the money. It's all in upper management. They kept it. They bought houses with it. They increased their real estate with it. They did whatever. They took vacations with it. They flew private jets with it. And again, if we had a half-assed decent media, they would have pointed it out. But it's too much of a shot to the woke narrative. So they still, if you're in the BLM upper echelon, still have a license to steal, apparently. The politicians, not as much as you used to, even being woke progressive. You better come out as trans. That's the only blanket that's still going to cover you. Sorry, not sorry. Too fat to fly. Airline announces it will now weigh passengers as well as their carry-on. Oh, yeah, but it's not a U.S. carrier. Like Southwest, I used to love Southwest. They were the best airline. They really were. They had comfy seats. They were big seats, like the roomiest in the industry. Their on-time thing was great. The flight attendants were, for the most part, always nice and making light and fun. They were great and they were cheap. And then they had the big debacle where they all the flights were canceled, and I had like 3 or 4 flights canceled in a row at different times, months apart. And I just got disgusted. I'm like, yeah, I'm paying not that much money to fly, but I want to guarantee I'm actually going to get to where I want to go. I've had too many busted up trips because you nuts, you chuckleheads. And then they're like, okay, by the way, now fat people get free seats. They're not free seats. They're like, hey, if you're big and fat and you got no willpower, we're going to give you an extra seat because, we want to reward you for your gluttony. And that's all well and good if you take it on the chin for it, or the double chin. But it's not that is absorbed by the rest of the flyers with the higher ticket prices. So we're paying for Chubby's second seat. Doesn't seem right. And then then the worst yet is now they've redone the seats on Southwest, and they're these thin, tiny little, look so uncomfortable seats. Which, by the way, the fat person's probably going to break the first time they sit down on. So this is not Southwest. Too fat to fly. Airline announced, this is a European airline. They're thinner. Airline announces it will have some shame. Airline announces it will now weigh passengers. Could you imagine if they did that in the U.S.? Probably the first time some of them have been on a scale. Too fat to fly. Airline announces it will now weigh passengers as well as their carry-on. Oh, could you imagine the outcry, the rage, the fury of U.S. chubby checkers if that was the case here? Because first of all, you have to. I don't think it's bad for the fat people, like the really fat people, but there's no way they're not expecting it. I think the real trigger issue for that they would be triggered by anything anyways. But the real trigger issue would be if you were like kind of you're like kind of fat, but you're not really sure how fat you are, and like, hey, I'm making a judgment call here. You look pretty fat. Why don't you step on? I guess they would just have everybody step on the scale. That's the way to avoid that. Like, everybody's got to step on the scale. Secondary fat screening that could start happening. Yeah, we think the scale must have been broken because you look pretty fat. Why don't you? This scale I think works better. An airline has announced that it will begin weighing passengers in their carry-on luggage in order to better estimate the plane's weight before takeoff. You should. It's not a bad idea. Okay, so I guess they won't have to pay more, but they're going to have to just be like, yeah. It's a safety thing. It's like that Curb episode where Larry wants everyone's weight, so the captain the pilot can know how fat everybody is. All right, so far 500 volunteer customers have participated in the weigh-ins. This is Finnair, obviously, not a U.S. airline. Would never fly here, literally. So yeah, get ready to get weighed if you're on Finnair. Thin air is what they should call it. Change it to thin air. All right, let me check out CNN real quick because I'd like to see what the left is up to and what the propagandists are propagandizing. So what do you got for me today, CNN? What is the leftist diatribe? The mantra, the push from the left. What is this? Oh, I've added an extra N to CNN. I got CNN for for when you misclick, and they're trying to sell me closets apparently. Senate GOP is set to tank the border deal. Oh, it's almost like you're and foreign aid package. Almost like you're blaming the Republicans for the border, with no mention of how crap the border deal is, with no mention of the fact that the border deal is basically just installing in permanence, ensconcing in law the disastrous policies of Biden's current border policy, a non-existent policy at that. This is the beginning of the blame game to somehow, before the election, because their voters are dopes apparently, to shift the blame off of the Republicans for the border issue, or shift the blame off the Democrats for the border issue and throw it on to the Republicans. They also tried this comically, this is comical too, with the defund the police. But even their dopey lib voters are like, come on, I know you think we're stupid. Let's face it, we are. But we're not so stupid we're going to believe that it was the Republicans who wanted to defund the police. But they tried, but nobody bit. This one, they're hoping they do a little better. We couldn't get them on we thought they were stupid, but apparently they're not that stupid. Well, we thought they were. So we tried to blame the Republicans for defunding the police. But maybe we can get them on the border, Let's try. CNN. A barred gate, a musty chamber, and dirty dishes inside an underground compound where Israel says hostages were held. Okay. I don't know what that is about. Kind of a nondescript story with they take a side on some things and not on others. As you see here, the Republicans are set to tank the border deal, but the very just kind of matter of fact description of torture chambers of Hamas. Anywho, House Schumer plans to try and save the foreign aid package. Oh, I hope. Oh, what a brave hero. What a brave American patriot Schumer is. I can't wait CNN today. $3 for a single McDonald's hash brown. Customers are fed up and pushing back. All right, come on, McDonald's customers, stop it, please. We can be fed up with. What do you got to be? It's getting back to the chubby checker U.S. citizenry. I got a little punch myself. But McDonald's, the excuse for your gluttony at McDonald's was generally speaking, but it's cheap. It's, it's fast and it's cheap. Well, now it's just fast and it's also expensive. So you could probably go someplace fast and get something healthy too. So like if you expect anyone to be crying about you're having to pay $18 for a Big Mac meal now, don't look at me. Because it's on you. You want this fat, greasy, and it's, by the way, I like McDonald's. It's good. I love the French fries, Big Mac once in a while. It's delicious. But I don't eat there every day. And if it was $18, which apparently it's getting that expensive, $3 for a hash brown, I'm not going to go there. I'll go someplace else. Just try switching it up a little bit. And while you're switching things up, how about an exercise program? Maybe you switch it up with that too. I don't know, just some ideas. Just some ideas that make you healthier. But yeah, so now that's out the window. The whole, but it's cheap. Salads are so expensive and McDonald's is cheap. That's why I go to McDonald's. Well, now guess what? Salad's cheaper than McDonald's. Just eat a salad. Tough love. Somebody got to give it to you. Somebody got to give it to you. I remember that. I was at the last time I ate at a McDonald's was in Sedona. And I remember I got a filet of fish sandwich, fries, and a drink. And it was like $13. I'm like, how is this $13? For this. And then because I earlier the day before been at Whole Foods and got like a really nice Whole Foods sandwich for like $9, like a big, way more healthy than the sordid potpourri of death that I'm getting at McDonald's. No sympathy. All right, I've had an amazing time as always. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Doxy, of course. Oh my God, look at all these comments I missed. I was like, oh, nobody's commenting. Just the thing never advanced. So I apologize for not looking at comments. I looked down at comments and not see it. So let me go run through the comments. Bob, good to see you. Mike, and I'll read some of these comments as I go. I did the comment thing stopped. Again, this is the problem with the beta. So I was just like, yeah, nobody's commenting. Sorry, everybody. Talit said they were supposed to be 16-year, but Trump screwed that up. I don't even. So Biden cheated in. Yes, Doxy, I 100% agree with that. Talit, I'm sure you're right on that too. The PLO protesters are going to be the new BLM. Yeah, you know what? I think you're right about that, Mike. Honest to God, I think you are spot on. Because the BLM, as I told you, it's so crooked, so corrupt. There's so much baggage of corruption, and then not even doing anything remotely related to their stated goal, which was to help the Black community. Every place there was a BLM presence is the worst for it. Prove me wrong. Give me the example where it isn't. You can't. So I think you're right. These PLO protesters or Hamas protesters are going to be the new BLM. They will be the anarchists that the leftists use to promote fear and villainy and looting and rioting, whatever else they need done to scare people into voting for a dopey idiot like Joe Biden. Talit says, or Bob says, I'm wearing one of the pro-gun anti-idiot shirts right now. Nikad says free stuff, whether you steal it from Walgreens or from the taxpayer. Exactly right. Fun guy says the more government policies, especially Democrats, the shittier the quality of life. Yeah, 100%. The government was supposed to be just an overseer. They weren't supposed to be the end all be all. So the more they do, the worse things get. The more they impinge on the free market. 2 predictions from Mike. Joe will drop out. Kamala will get the boot. Yeah, you can't run Kamala. You can't dump Joe for Kamala. No way. Yeah, exactly. One guy says, indeed, Heidi, they already make it known, just keeping it in their back pocket. Yeah, apologies again. The thing never advanced. It's the beta, folks. It's probably my fault. I'm blaming the beta, but it's probably me. But it's supposed to advance on its own. Yeah, resident Biden does flow better. He is. He's a nursing home resident who is our puppet master, or not our puppet master, He is the puppet of the puppet masters. Prisoner Biden. Yeah, prisoner Biden. We are prisoners of Biden, of the administration. All right. Doxy says Kelsey pays for his mom. Who's she fooling? Yeah, Kelsey's like so rich. Like he's so rich. And yet they're like claiming he isn't. This is like a recap. I'm basically doing a recap with everybody's thing. I'm so sorry. I missed all these. All right. Coors Light. I think we're going with Bud, anti-Bud. The Vatican isn't cash poor. No, they certainly aren't. Leave my jewels alone, Bob says. McDonald's, here we go. I'm down to McDonald's already, so I think those we were just talking about. McDonald's has surpassed the largest landowner in the world. Vatican is second. No way, Mike. Oh, my God. Good little tidbits here. By the way, if I cut out, it's because my battery died, but I do want to read the comments because I love the comments. Fun Guy says, Super Bowl is on my birthday. I've never wanted to stay home more than ever. The NFL, NBA, and most have lost my support. Yeah, hell yeah. And they support the moment supported by kneeling to BLM. And yeah, of course, they again, this division of our country through race. They got the black national anthem going ahead of time on the Super Bowl. Why not? We all have one national anthem. If you're going to do a black national anthem, then you have to do a white national anthem, and you got to do an Asian national anthem, and you got to do a Hispanic national anthem, and you got to do a Pacific Islander national anthem. And you got to. I mean, it never ends. It's so stupid. We're Americans. Let's unite. Let's unite. And again, if I cut out suddenly, I love you all. I'm just going to read or cut out one of the two. Bob says, funny that they support the government. Yeah. And my pronouns are Your Highness and Your Majesty, as they should be. On just so people know who I am. On LinkedIn, my pronouns are Chief and Skipper. Those are my pronouns. I'm very proud of them. UFC, Fun Guy 85 says, are the only ones I really support anymore. I love the UFC. And Trump walks in there like king of the world, as he should, and they all go crazy. Bob says he doesn't have pronouns. Mine are amateur nouns. Yeah, I think mine are too. I like them. I like mine. I'm on LinkedIn. I am Chief and Skipper, and I will stay Chief and Skipper forever. It's good if you don't know people's names. Yeah, I got to keep going. I'd have to skip some. Sorry. Catch up here. Some of the fighters are pissed, but they will continue to support. I think we're talking about the Bud Light there. She is a African, 100%, Doxy. We're talking about the woke kindergarten teacher who I guarantee is maybe more white than I am. Yeah, you'll start watching after I finish my jujitsu and training. Yeah, you're going to be waiting a while on that one. I am going to jujitsu after the show, though. So if I am injured, I will post something on my jeffahern.com. I would like to post all my injuries and blood. Actually, my screensaver for this is me being injured. It's like my spinning head all bloodied. Yeah. I got a knee that day. Yeah. Jiu-jitsu, it's a gentleman's sport. I agree that the public schools should be abolished. Yeah, I mean, charters are doing better. And the government should have. I agree, Bob. The government will not have their indoctrination centers. That's what they are. In inner cities, in the minority communities, they are nothing but indoctrination centers. Education is not even on the menu. It's all indoctrination, 100%. And the charter schools do better, and you can save. You get a half price deal on them because they're less money, and they produce a better outcome. And that's the truth of it, 100%. Trump said, "Let the money follow the children." You agree? Yeah, let the money follow the children. Let the money follow the successes. That's where the money should go. We're just pouring bad money after good into these schools which have no compassion for these kids because they're only growing them turn them into generational poverty, spit them out on the other end stupider than they started, unfortunately. And that's true because whereas they came in with independent thought and dreams and hopes, they leave with none of that. I laugh, but I should cry. It's hard to indoctrinate without the funds. Yeah, that's the truth. All right. I'm going to skip some more. I can't believe. All right. Next time tomorrow, I'm going to check and make sure I don't miss everybody's comments, but it's cool. All right. I think I'm going to roll down towards the end. Yeah. Have a good day. All right. We're all saying our goodbyes now. I love you all so much. I had so much fun. I don't know. Again, I'm working the beta here, so I'm still kind of new to me. So the scroll stopped, but I love you guys when you're commenting, and I love talking about what you're talking about. Will says, when you don't eat corporate. Yeah, 100%. I think I'm just going to let this die on me. because I'm going late. Talise says, when I want to feel pretty, I can look at this sports illustrated swimsuit issue. Yeah, well, they got dudes with boobs on the cover, and Sports Illustrated is essentially bankrupt. They cut their whole staff, just about. They're all practically AI now, and they're going to get bought out by someone else who can have the brand, and they could bring it back. They could rescue it from wokeness, or they could continue down the woke wagon and just trash it. Bad money after good. Bob in Alaska calls it McDog balls. Yeah, it is. It's not. The thing is, I do like McDonald's. I love the fries, and once in a while, it hits the spot. Usually when I'm drunk, when I'm hungover, I love going to McDonald's, or just some greasy food. But yeah, at $18, $15, anything over 10. Honestly, anything over 7, and you're pushing it with me, McDonald's. And I'm talking for a full damn meal. I don't even mean just a hamburger. I mean like you got the dollar menu, but come on, that burger is so thin. It's like a slab of little single of cheese, but meat. The one says, hey, good to see you. The one, I want to feel skinny. I look at the swimsuit models in Sports Illustrated. Yeah, which is it's so true. Yeah, it's like, it used to be like you would aspire. It was aspirational for women. But now it's just like, holy, wow, I'm doing pretty good. That's a Southwest flyer right there. Sagalicious says McDeath is poison. Absolutely it is. 100%. All right, I'm going to say, I think I kind of caught up with everyone. Although I had to wait till the damn end. Thank you, Heidi. I had a great time. This was a lot of fun. All right, run for the toilet. Bob in Alaska says, run for the toilet. Taco Bell is my drink of choice. I like Taco Bell and their little sauces. There's not really one near me, but I do enjoy some Taco Bell too. Trans skinny. Yes, Talib. Yeah, that's why I'm a particle producer. I think we should end on that, Bob. So all of us particle producers are us deplorables, those of us who are still willing to use common sense. God bless you, and I will see you tomorrow at 9. Why wouldn't I be at 9? I had fun. This is great. Thank you so much all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you can. That always helps. And join me at jeffahern.com. Join me at Patreon. You can join me at the members, the locals, and I'm on Cameo. Get all my plugs in. Hey, Jeannie, good to see you. All right. I didn't know you were there. Jeannie, by the way, big shout out. Jeannie's artwork right there. And Jeannie, I am going. I'm going to try and go today, get my P.O. box. How about that? Get it back. I didn't pay for a while. Come on, this is that liberal city. I got to pay for stuff. They could actually take things back from me. They can take back your safety deposit box, but if someone moved into my house as a squatter, I couldn't get them out. They get it. Yeah, have a great day, everybody. I'm off to jujitsu, and I timed it like the computer didn't crash, and I did an hour 40, so that's pretty good. Is my battery getting better? Probably not. I think I just charged it. All right, all. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Talib. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, the one. Hey, Upon the Horizon. Good to see you. Thank you, Upon the Horizon. Thank you, everyone who tuned in. Heidi, Doxy, Will, Talib, Bob. Yeah, I think Sagalicious. Everyone else. I'm not going to go all the way back. Mike, good to see you as always. And yes, I'm off. All right, that's it. I got to go. All right, and now I don't even have to awkwardly sign off. I can actually sign off easily. My sign-ons